A stunning development tonight as the suspended Deputy Commissioner of the Independent Commission Against Corruption, Daniel Baulch, has spoken out, breaking months of enforced silence with a fiery declaration, "I will not go away." In a strongly worded statement sent via WhatsApp, Baulch reveals what he says is a coordinated effort within elements of the government and even the police force to force him into silence, a silence he refuses to accept. Baulch, who was lawfully appointed as deputy commissioner, says he was advised by legal counsel and close associates to refrain from making public comments while under suspension. But he believes the public deserves the truth. And the truth, he says, is ugly. Attempts to suppress critical investigations into some of the country's most powerful political figures. He claims that, if not for what he calls an unauthorized warrant of arrest, one not signed off by the police commissioner himself, the country would have witnessed the imminent arrest of one of the highest-ranking ministers in cabinet. This minister, he says, was recently exposed by the print media for controversial land deals involving his own private company, a glaring conflict of interest that would have sent shockwaves through parliament. But instead, Baulch alleges, the warrant was manipulated to derail the investigation and to stop ICAC in its tracks. And the twist doesn't end there. He points directly at his replacement, a former national court judge, who, Baulch claims, was openly seen campaigning in Morobe province alongside the very ministers now under ICAC scrutiny. For Baulch, this is not just a personal vendetta. It is about the very survival of an institution that was supposed to restore trust in Papua New Guinea's fight against corruption. PNG desperately needs ICAC, he says. Corruption is rampant throughout this entire country, in both the public and private sectors. But the police, who should have stood with us, were the first to be compromised, right at the very top. Baulch's statement reveals more. Investigations under his watch have already been completed into 2 senior cabinet ministers who were prominently featured in the media for alleged wrongdoing. The scope of ICAC's work also covers 2 governors from what he calls a notorious region of the country, though he did not name the region directly, and 3 powerful heads of departments and key government agencies. He warns that no stone will be left unturned, and no amount of political influence will erase the evidence that ICAC has gathered so far. In a damning line, Baulch alleges that the police commissioner, who should have protected ICAC's work, instead crossed a dangerous line by authorizing the arrest of all 3 ICAC commissioners. He believes this was done to shut down investigations and silence a body that was inching too close to the uncomfortable truth. Baulch's statement is more than just an emotional outburst. It is a battle cry. "I am an investigator," he says, "and I will not rest until justice has been served to those who have transgressed their duty of care." This defiance has sparked fresh questions among the public. Who benefits if ICAC is dismantled? Why are some leaders desperate to stop investigations? And will the country ever see arrests of those at the top? Papua New Guineans across the country have watched this saga unfold with growing frustration. For decades, corruption has eaten away at basic services, stolen public funds, and widened the gap between leaders and ordinary citizens. The promise of ICAC was that finally powerful people would be held accountable. But now, that promise hangs by a thread. As the dust settles on Baulch's bombshell statement, many are asking, what happens next? Will Parliament respond? Will the police commissioner break his silence? Will the courts intervene to protect ICAC's mandate? For now, Baulch's message is clear. He will not be intimidated into silence. He calls on every Papua New Guinean to stay vigilant, to demand transparency, and to hold their leaders to account, no matter how high their position or how deep their pockets. As this story develops, Pulse of PNG will bring you every update, every twist, and every revelation. For now, the nation waits. Will justice be served, or will corruption once again find a way to bury the truth? Stay with us. Like, share, and subscribe to Pulse of PNG for breaking news and stories that matter to our people.